to round 13, 14 and 15, I think, of the Vision Gaming Network British Touring Car Series, guys. And today we are here at Hockenheim. Now, quite an interesting track, you know, one that usually I'm not a particularly big fan of, but this car around this track and this tune sort of suited quite nicely to my taste. You know, I was feeling confident coming on into it there, guys. You know, don't want a track extend as well. Like, I know it was pretty clear that a couple of drivers had done so on their runs, guys. But this was my fastest qualifying run that was good enough for P3 overall on the whole, you know. It felt like quite a solid run. I'd only really done sort of like 10, 15 laps practice. But the championship at the moment is heating up. Coming into this round, I was joint second with Tiggerwoo on 171 points. We had HCR Noodle, I think 6 back on 165. And HCR Cerberus, after a very strong Watkins Glen, was up in the lead with 201 points. So, you know, sort of the aims from today were to outscore Cerberus by a few, you know, try and close that gap. Outscore Tiggerwoo as well, you know, just try and solidify a better position overall. And then, you know, if I could outscore Noodle as well, then it would be very ideal. But obviously he won't have a race at 1 ballast, whilst the rest of us will. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see how we do fare there. But, you know, coming through into the stadium section then, this lap felt pretty hooked up on the whole, you know. There was probably sort of another tenth and a half to find, you know, if it was kept fully clean still, you know, between the white lines. I don't think they're too strict on, you know, Forza clean is clean in this league at the moment, you know, which is fine. But, you know, just sort of want to keep it between the white lines, guys, as we come through the final corner of our lap here. And it's going to be a 1 minute 31.993 there. So just able to get into the 131s there. So very, very happy with that, with a fully, you know, between the white lines clean lap there, if I'm not mistaken, guys. So, you know, still quite confident with that. And, you know, that left me with a lot of boost coming on into the first race, guys. Obviously, unfortunately, with the ballast, but we have got Noodle on full then, who should probably pull away in this race. Tiggerwoo, the guy that I'm tied with overall, is P2 there. I want to try and get past him as quickly as I can. Myself in P3 with RSR Flex up in P4. There are finally a good qualifying from him. Wookie 2002 in P5 with a Vision Thing in P6 there. One of the other BMWs there. We've got VGN Mauler, the first of the Toyotas, up in P7, and my teammate Matty Bolton in P8 there. HCR Cerberus, the championship leader, having a dismal qualifying there, down in P9 with Rai CX in P10, rounding out the top 10 there. Then we come to what I think is the first Audi there of Captain Manor, and this really just was not an Audi track there. Mika in P12. We have got VBR Widowed, who some of you might recognise back from AOR, in P13. LER Sticks in 14th place there. Big White Donk 87 in P15 there. And coming to the bottom of the field, we have got ZT Bad in what is the only Honda, I think, or actually RN Ishii BE in P17. And last but certainly not least is P Fricks, guys. So on the grid then, ready for the first race of the day. Need to try and close up to HCR Cerberus overall, guys, but it's lights out and away we go. And off to a pretty damn good start there. We've got RSR Flex, who separates me and Tiggerwoo down towards turn there, but Tigger just comes straight across the pair of us there, pushes us both out a little bit wide. Fortunately, that hasn't really cost me that much time, but it's definitely cost RSR Flex there as Wookie 2002 able to make that gap work. You know, his teammates really helped him out there as we're trying to look right around the outside of Tiggerwoo here. Right around the outside we go, try and get in front of him there. He barges into the side of me. Very, very aggressive British touring car action there, but we do move up to P3 of the race so far. We got Wookie, who is piling on the pressure to Noodle just up the road there. We got Tiggerwoo still trying to have a look right around the outside, down in towards the hairpin there, but he's not going to be able to make that stick as we do hold on to P3 at the moment, guys. You know, the BMW around this circuit with the tune I had still felt very, very quick. You know, it was probably only about half a second deficit in comparison to no ballast. So it was actually, you know, considering I'd like to think, you know, I'm one of the quickest guys here, I could still, you know, sort of stand my ground against quite a lot of the guys here. Now, obviously, I don't want to have to run ballast for the second race of the evening, you know, so if I can get down to P4, that would be ideal. But, you know, I'm not going to try and, like, park it out of the way so people can try and get past me, guys. And now moving on to the end of lap 3 here, we've got RSR Flex, who is now right on my rear bump here. He might try and think about a move down at the final corner there, down towards someone there. He's going to be side by side, but I think, yeah, he's going to back out of that, because, you know, he doesn't really need to worry about trying to get the move done nice and quickly. You know, he can sort of just bide his time there as I run over the curbs through turn 1. Right around the outside, he goes down towards turn 2 there, and I'm just going to back out of that move there. Brake a little bit early, try to not cost myself too much time here. So RSR Flex moves up into the podium there. And now I've still got Tigaboo just behind me here. So, if I can keep him at bay still, I'll be happy to be ahead of him overall in the point standing, guys, coming out of this first race of the evening. I will have the full points table at the end of the video as well, guys, if you're interested. And it's safe to say, this title fight could get very, very spicy towards the end, guys. But I won't talk too much about that now, as obviously we're still only in race 1 of the evening. But skipping on then towards the end of lap 8 here, and I'm my teammate Matty Bolton right behind me now, and he obviously is looking very, very strong in this first race. That I'm going to move off at the line to give him the position there, not going to try and cost him any time in whatsoever, because he can still potentially try and get up to the top guys there. But coming through turn 1, he does run a little bit wide there. But he was saying in the game, unfortunately we're in game chat and I can't hear him. Sorry, I can hear him, but he couldn't hear me. So he could just, sort of tell me what his plans were, what he was thinking. I was sort of just happy to oblige at the moment. So Matty was there, I was not willing to hold him up, but he was very much in a position of, if he can't close up on the top guys, he'll let me have the position back, because obviously I'm sort of more in the championship fight, and the drivers and the constructors, we're still both very much within the fight for that as well. So if we can just try and score maximum points for both championships, then we were both going to be very, very happy with that. And I'm more than happy if it was the other way around to work to his advantage there. But we'll just have to wait and see how it does pan out through the final few races of the season, guys. But Matty decides there that he's not going to be able to make the moves up the road there unless there's a huge amount of mistakes from those guys. So he's going to park it back behind me again and go sort of a rear gunner for the rest of the race here. Give me a few more points boost over Tigaboo as well. So very, very ideal for me. And skipping on to the end of the race, that was what we were able to do there. Hold on to P4 for the rest of the race there. That's actually the highest position anyone with ballast has finished so far this series there. So very, very happy with that. I do slow down here if Matty didn't want the position back, but he came in behind me. So it was clear that he wasn't going to go for it there, guys. So very, very happy with that first race of the evening. P4 there, and I actually had the 6th fastest lap still, even with the ballast. That'll leave me in a strong position as we move on into the second race of the evening. There, HCR Noodle has ballast, RSR Flex also has ballast, as well as Wookie, who, those three guys all carry the ballast. So Matty Bolton up in P4 there. This could be a very, very good chance for us to, potentially get a 1-2 in this race, with LER Vision Thing just separating us there. Myself, as I said, up in P6 for the start of the second race of the night. Big White Donk 87 in P7 there. P-Frix in P8. A lot of guys actually had invalidated laps. Tigaboo caused quite a bit of a train during that first race, so a lot of slipstream invalidations came through there. VGN Mauler rounds out the top 10 though, with RyCX in P11. Then we've got the other Battlefield 1 car of Captain Mannarin in P12. Next to him we have LER Sticks in the Mercedes. Then we have got Mika 30 in another Audi there. And down towards the bottom of the field we have got VBR Widowed once more. Tigaboo there, so very, very happy for me, that he's way down the order there. And HCR Cerberus P17. And last but certainly not least, on the back row we have got Full X Throttle, who I don't think actually raced in the first race, and then RN Ishii BE to round out the field, guys. But on the grid then, ready for the second race of the evening, and it is lights out and away we go. And Wookie has not bothered going there. He's unfortunately stalled his car, which that, as I can have a look down the inside of Vision Thing as well into turn 1 there, that's helped me out absolutely massively there. We got Matty, who is piling on the pressure to RSR Flex, and HCR Noodle in the lead of this race for now, guys. And he might try and make it 3 wide down in towards turn 2 there. Noodle having to keep it between the pair of them there. That's cost them all a bit of time there, but they do give each other racing room in the end there. And this will only help me out as we come out of the first sector there. And I'm still right on the back end of these guys, with RSR Flex and Noodle with ballast. This could be a 1-2 for Matty and I at this moment in time, guys. But down in towards the hairpin there, and RSR Flex thinks about a move on Noodle there, but unfortunately isn't able to make it stick there. I'm going to try and go for a bit of a switchback on him, but he just gets ever so slightly better drive there through the corner, parks it just in front of me there, which he's fully entitled to do so, I unfortunately not able to move up to P3 for now. My teammate Matty, though, is up into the lead of the race. For him now, he's got to try and sprint away, gain a bit of an advantage, and we just want to try and get up there with him during the later stages of this race there. But RSR Flex running a little bit deep down in towards the hairpin here in the stadium section. We're going to try and swing it right around his outside there. You know, he tries to squeeze me out a bit there, but I do just about keep the car alongside, get a good run over the curbs there, and back up into P3 of the race I go there. So very, very happy with that. And now all we have got to do is, you know, sort of try and get past Noodle and then see where it does leave us during the rest of the race there. Matty makes a bit of a mistake at the final corner there, but we've got a good run on Noodle here. Going to be side by side down towards turn 1 there. I will have the track position and on the inside there. So I now move up into P2 of the race there. You may have also noticed that Tigawoo has opted to pit very, very early there, so you might have to watch for him doing the cutback later on in this race, guys. But up into P2 of the race we go. HDR Noodle thinks about trying to go for a move on me once more there, but unfortunately for him, not able to make that stick here enough. If I can try and close back in on Matty, you know, obviously we want to score as many points as we can for the constructors, but at the moment, you know, we're sort of trying to help my drivers' championship as well. You know, if we can try and win both, that would be absolutely incredible for us to, you know. Just, you know, it wasn't like a particularly serious league when we entered, but you know, it's been great fun so far this series, guys. But moving on then to lap 3, and I'm now all over the back of Matty here as we come in towards the final sector. You know, I just had a little bit better pace. We do prefer to tune our own cars for this series. You know, Matty likes to have his car a bit more understeery, and I prefer mine to, you know, turn in quite tight. You know, I like to have full control. He likes to slide his cars a little bit more there, but he backs out in towards the hairpin there to give me the track position there. So we do now move up into the lead of this race, guys, and now, you know, hopefully for me, it can be fairly straightforward to the very end there. But unfortunately, as we dive it into the pit lane there a bit later on in the race, Matty had told me that Tigawoo had been able to undercut him earlier on, so, you know, we were just hoping that we can try and, you know, stay out in the lead of this race there, guys, which we are able to do so in the end. But, you know, we're now skipping on to lap 12 of the race, so we have got Wookie 2002, Tigawoo's teammate, just up ahead of me here, and, you know, we sort of want to try and get past him as quickly as possible, because, you know, he could do some damage later on in this race. You know, if he holds me up enough, he's fully entitled to, and, you know, if he can do damage to me, help out his teammate there, you know, that'd be nice and ideal for those guys. You can see we're closing in absolutely massively. I've run a wheel on the gravel ever so slightly there, which isn't exactly ideal there, but, you know, we're all over the rear of Wookie there. You know, he's got ballast as well. He stalled off the start, so his race is basically over there, guys. As we come through into the final couple of corners there, he's going to park it on the apex there, doing anything to keep his car ahead of you there. Parks it once more into the final corner, so we're going to look right around his outside there. He pushes me out wide over the grass there and down the front straight. He just completely cuts me off there. No idea what that was all about. You know, Tigawoo gets through there, which, you know, I was really frustrated with. You know, I can understand, you know, trying to park it a little bit through corners, but pushing someone off the road down a straight, you know, that's just a little bit too much in my personal opinion there. Like, I can understand helping your teammate out, but intentionally pushing someone off the road is a little bit too ridiculous by my standards, and I will be taking that to the stewards as well, guys. Don't you worry there. But coming through turn 3 and turn 4, I go up the inside of Wookie there, and now I'm back up ahead of him again. I know I sort of just make sure I'm fully ahead of him there, but he dive bombs me into the next corner there, and he doesn't even make the corner himself. He completely pushes me off the circuit there, and I was really, really frustrated with that, because, you know, I'm more than happy to have good close racing, you know, contact here and there, but intentionally pushing someone else off the circuit twice in a row is just a bit ridiculous in my opinion. You know, his race is completely over, and I can understand he's trying to help his teammate, but if he gets penalised for that, you know, it's going to have absolutely no consequences to his. He does back out there in the end, after I think someone else did ask him to, because, you know, it was just plain ridiculous. I was really, really frustrated with that one. You know, I thought, you know, it was clean, fair, competitive racing here, and some drivers, you know, I don't want to speak for everyone, but, you know, sometimes get moments like that, and it is just frustrating. You know, you thought it was all a bit of fun, you know, you can have a bit of good racing. When people do that, you know, it really just knocks your confidence back, and you don't want to race as cleanly with them later on down the line. But I came P2 there overall in that race after being robbed of the race win there. Tigawoo still did well, but, you know, can only feel how different that would have been. Wookie there, P18 in the end. So it really just says it all, guys. But now moving on to race 3 of the day, and, you know, I think we have just about mathematically, I think we're about 1 point off Tigawoo coming on into the final race of the day, guys. But unfortunately for this one, I had to mute the audio, as unfortunately I was in a party for this one. So it did come through, and there was quite a lot of just general chit-chat, guys. But through turn 1 there we go, And unfortunately, I've ran a little bit wide there. Cerberus is right behind me here, and he's going to try and look right around the outside, down in towards turn 2 here. Tigaboo just parking it on the apex there, you know. He's going to try and do everything within his power to try and force me down the order and try and, you know, hold on to his own positions here, you know. Try and sort of back me up into the rest of the field here, you know. If he wants to play it like that, then I'm more than happy to play it like that as well, you know. I'm more than happy to try and replicate that towards him if, you know, I do get into a position where I can do so, guys. But he runs massively deep into the hairpin there at the end. At the end of the long straight there. And now Cerberus is going to try and look down my inside in towards the next corner there. You know, I sort of just expected it to happen. So I gave him the room on the inside there. But unfortunately, you know, he just didn't make the position stick. Which I sort of, you know, like when the guys don't have ballast, you know, I sort of, if they're going to go for moves, I'm more than happy to, you know, sort of back out. But, you know, when they sort of don't make it stick, it's a little bit frustrating because you want to try and lose out as little time as you possibly can, guys. But Tigaboo still in the lead. I let HCR Cerberus through down in towards the hairpin there. You know, I'm hoping that Cerberus, you know, sort of get in the way of Tigaboo there and just help me out further on down the line, guys. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see how well that does fare for myself. We've got LER Vision Thing trying to stick his nose up the inside there, but he's not able to make that stick just yet, guys. But hopefully, you know, we can still try and make this little strategy work. And skipping on now to the end of lap 2 here. Vision Thing has actually got through now. He managed to get through down the long straight there. And now he's piling on the pressure to Tigaboo there. He makes a little bit of a mistake out through turn 1 there. Vision Thing going to try and look down his inside in towards the next corner here. And I'm going to have a look to the outside there. Tigaboo clear that he just wants to defend from me there. A little bit of a punt in the back, which means he can undercut Vision Thing there. So I'm going to slide up around the outside of him there, trying to push Vision Thing out of the exit of the corner there. So, you know, we can try and get past Tigaboo there. And we have just about been able to do so there. There's a little bit of lag there as Tigaboo's sort of all over the shop. So I'm just going to, you know, not try and go as defensive as I normally would there. But I do now move up, back up into P3 of the race there, guys, and that is very, very ideal for myself there. You know, we can only hope that we can try and hold on ahead of Tigaboo all the way through to the end of the race there, guys. And unfortunately, you know, this race wasn't particularly interesting in the end. I did lose a couple of other positions just to, you know, guys with no ballast there. But coming through on the final lap of the race, guys, I'm going to come through to finish P5 there. So 3 really, really good showings in the end there. P4, P2, and P5 there, you know, I will have gained a good haul of points there overall. And the gap to Cerberus should have come down quite a bit. It was originally 30 points coming into this race. And Tigaboo and I think I have outscored him there, but I can't imagine it is by very much there, guys. But P5 at the end of the third race of the evening, you know, a little bit of an up and down even on the whole. It was sort of, I sort of thought, you know, that second race victory, if that cost me points overall in the long run, I'm going to be really, really gutted because, you know, it was a little bit, in my opinion, unnecessary. You know, I can see why I did it, but it was just a bit ridiculous in my personal opinion there, guys. But what Tigaboo finishes down in P7 there overall in the end. And having a look then overall at the point standings from tonight, Cerberus still leads the way, guys. 15 points ahead of HCR Noodle there, and I'm just 3 points back up in P3 there. Tigaboo 1 point behind me still in the driver's standings, so it's looking still very, very tight there, guys. And having a look at the constructors' standings, and well, it's even closer. Spectre 6 Racing, which is Tigaboo and Wookie, are on 430 points, and EVR Motorsport with Motorcast, me and Matty, are also on 340 points there, guys. But hopefully, you know, you have enjoyed this video. Do not forget to like, subscribe for more of the VGN British Touring Car Series, guys, and I will see you all next time for a brand new video.
Yeah.